Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Here's a complete recap of what was said and the takeaways and some commentary on what happened during the 2020 quarter 4 Tesla earnings call. So Elon Musk starts off by saying this was a defining year, produced 500,000 vehicles. Right now they're focused on capacity expansion. They're building the Model Y now in Fremont. They're almost at full capacity. They're producing 5,000 vehicles a week in Shanghai. They're putting heat pumps now in the Model 3s. The Kato battery cell manufacturing plant has the capacity, or they believe, to be in the top 10 of all battery manufacturing plants throughout the world. One of the big things that we learned later during the conference call was that Elon Musk believes that it's very important to stress Tesla is not trying to replace other battery manufacturers. They're trying to get their hands on as many freaking batteries as they can, but they've decided to make their own battery facility, not only to supplement that production, but more importantly, to get the 4680 cell produced, which they are not working with other manufacturers on producing. Only Tesla is going to make those, which explains why Tesla announced the Model S and Model X Plaid editions today. The Plaid edition will have the 4680 battery as a structural battery in those. Those are the more expensive cars. Now, Elon Musk went on to talk about exactly this, the Model S and X. He believes that the Model S should be ready for delivery this February. That would be way earlier than expected. We were expecting late 2021 to see the Model S. There are now two versions of the Model S, actually three versions. The normal Model S long range, the Model S Plaid, and the Model S Plaid Plus. The Model X also has a Model X Plaid. The Model S will be a tri-motor, tremendous improvement over the prior. First production car to go 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. There's even talk about it being potentially a 7-seater or having a 7-seater option. I don't know if I see 7 seats happening in a Model S. That's already tight in the Model X, but we'll see. They've got 1,000 people in the beta for full self-driving, which they mentioned later in the call something interesting, that one of the reasons they don't have more is because of regulatory constraints. Congress is basically saying, hey, we only want you to have 1,000 people out there with full self-driving right now. So they actually have a lid from Congress, and it's not a Tesla lid. I think if it were up to Tesla, many more people would be getting the invite. Elon Musk also said, then this was pretty big, Elon Musk also said that you can basically value Tesla in proportion with the utility increase that the cars provide. In other words, if Tesla vehicles become twice as useful to people because maybe now you could use them in a robotaxi network, the value of Tesla should double. This was interesting. It was an interesting argument he used. At one point, he even suggested, hey, if we have $60 billion in net revenues, you could take a 20 times price to earnings ratio and end up with a reasonable valuation, was his argument, which that would be somewhere around $1.2 trillion. The current market cap of Tesla, let's see, market cap Tesla, what, 800-900, something like that? There it is, 819 billion. So he's building in another 50% upside with his argument here. Of course, right now, Tesla is down 5.5% in after hours. It's down at $816 per share. Market's open in after hours for another 22 minutes. Additionally, we've got, margin. That was one of our big 6 to 7 issues that we had when we went into this earnings call, is that they totally missed on margin. Margin declined. They came prepared with a defense, though. They said, we invested in Fremont. That reduced our margin. We stopped selling the Model S and X so we could sell our new Model S and X. That reduced our margin. We launched casting, so getting that casting machine up and running. For the Model Y, that takes longer. There's been supply chain instability because of the pandemic and pandemic inefficiencies. Then, and the stock market moved positively on this, but since then it did sell a little bit down. They stated that adjusting for these problems that there were, Tesla saw an overall improvement in margin is what they're arguing for. Or I shouldn't say arguing for, but what they're claiming is that there was an improvement in margin when you consider the fact that these things are temporary adjustments. And so they see that margin continuing upwards. They see that continued strength in margin growth, which is good. It's crucial for Tesla. It is crucial. Margin was the top #1 issue that I wrote down that we need to pay attention to in this earnings call. And it was one of the first things that they talked about because we knew it was an issue. Then the second issue that we wrote down at the beginning of the live was guidance. Why was the guidance so soft? And on guidance, they said, look, we're going to start slower in 2021. And we're going to see more of the benefit of a ramp towards the end of 2021 once we get Giga Berlin and Giga Austin online. But they do complain about facing a global semiconductor shortage. Then there was a question about, can we transfer full self-driving? Elon Musk had previously in an earnings call said they would look into that. And the answer here was a pretty much hardcore no. We're not considering that anymore. They're working on integrating the solar industry a little bit more to get that more competitive. So they've got a cleaner transition or cleaner teams maybe between the Powerwalls and Tesla Solar. Battery tech, they had some challenges in this last quarter, especially at Kato for doing the 4680 cells. However, they've been solving those, and they're confident they can get to the goals they outlined in a battery day. Also, this was another big item right here. They said that our neural networks, our neural training networks are so strong and so good that in the future, it's possible that the neural network division at Tesla could potentially end up being something that they sell individually or license individually, basically saying, hey, our neural network software is so good that we might consider letting other companies use or license our neural network training technology so that when other companies are driving their vehicles around, they can learn how to self-drive just as well as we can. Zero mention, by the way, of LiDAR. Like literally zero mention on LiDAR. The word was not brought up once in questions or answers or anything. So neural network as a service. Is that like NAS, neural network as a service. Anyway, working to improve margin. Frequency of service visits has been reduced by 1/3. Elon Musk is very confident that full self-driving will be 100% safer than the average person driver. He uses full self-driving regularly throughout his alpha test vehicle right now. And he says in most of his commutes, even to areas he hasn't gone before, he does not need to intervene at any point. He then reiterates how important it is that they can keep their partnerships going with all their battery manufacturers. No plans to slow down on manufacturing as many batteries as they can get their hands on. That's actually a big statement, too, for competition. Think Lucid, think NIO, companies that aren't producing their own batteries. They're going to be fighting for market share of the same batteries, basically, from LG Chem, Panasonic, and CATL. And that is one of the reasons Tesla has begun making their own batteries to supplement that. On the Cybertruck, it sounds like Elon Musk blamed having to have a newer, larger casting machine because the Cybertruck is larger and it has a bed that needs to be able to withstand loads. And as a result, they had to install or come up with, or they're working on it now, a new 8,000-ton casting press versus the largest one that they have had previously, which is 6,000. And Elon Musk said because of that, if we're lucky, we'll be able to get a few Cybertrucks out at the end of this year, but it's more likely we'll be at next year for full production. We assumed that earlier when they talked about maybe getting some semi-trucks out this year and didn't mention the Cybertruck. That was an assumption that we had made. On full self-driving, again, they're working with regulators, but we're going to have this mixed bag across the world. You're going to maybe have not getting past level 3 autonomy in Europe, but in China, you might be able to get to level 4 or 5 much quicker. In the US, we're also seeing some of those limits. Tesla does plan to definitely make an electric vehicle at some point in the future. However, the hardest thing right now is scaling production. Takes a nice stab at what's it called? At Nikola, basically saying, look, prototypes are easy to make, but actually producing the vehicle, that's the hard thing. Elon Musk also slammed hydrogen pretty hardcore, basically saying it's a pain in the ass. And that hydrogen is not something Tesla's interested in. Instead, they believe that semi-trucks are going to be fully capable of operating under a battery platform. But right now, they just don't have the battery capacity because you're putting basically 5 car batteries into a semi-truck, but you're selling the vehicle not for 5 times the cost of the other Tesla vehicle. So it seems like they're making that sort of business decision right now to pause a little bit on the semi-truck until they get that battery scaled up, that battery production scaled up. He does say he doesn't expect to be a CEO forever, but at least for the next few years. Says that only 1% of the U.S. fleet is electric, and he wants to be part of that transition to a greater electrical network of electric vehicles. Biden is obviously a huge proponent of this. I would not be surprised that if Elon Musk had on the radar leaving office, or not leaving office, stepping down from CEO, maybe he would do something like that around the same time. Maybe he saw the political environment change, be less accommodative. Right now, the political environment is becoming more and more accommodative for EVs by the day. That's why you have to be invested in this stock. Let's look at it again really quick. It is at, right now, it is at $819.70. He actually says that propane is probably much better to use than than hydrogen, which is a little bit of a big statement here. Overall, Elon Musk is extremely confident and he's extremely excited about Tesla's future, and he thinks that they are way ahead of everybody else. He thinks he doesn't even know who the next competition might even possibly be for getting to full self-driving as fast as Tesla plans to. These are big statements, really, really big statements. So overall, I'm very bullish. I have a 54% stake in Tesla. I added about $225,000 of Tesla stock today, all right around $820 per share, $820, $822, and $825 in 3 purchases. If it falls under 800, I will buy more. I don't know how the market's going to react tomorrow. It is possible we could have a little bit more of a market sell-off coming in the coming days, just because right now the market does seem to be a little skittish, I should say. So we'll have to keep an eye on to see what happens in, the next not only 24 hours here, but also what happens with Wall Street bets, what happens with GameStop, what's going to happen to the market. The market had a pretty big sell-off today, with the exception of the Wall Street stocks, and it's a lot of folks are wondering, is that because of all the attention on the Wall Street bet stocks, or what's going on? So yeah, there we go. So we'll see what happens in the coming days. And yeah, I do think that Tesla at 50% in my portfolio or anybody's portfolio is too high. You should not have 50% in one stock. But yeah, I did just add to Tesla because again, every company that I research, of all of them, Tesla continues to be the substantial leader in innovation and product delivery. So we'll see how it goes. And oh, it sounds like Wall Street Bets is back. Awesome. Thank you so much for mentioning that. I guess we could go over there and see what the heck happened. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to get your 4 free stocks with Robinhood. Use the link down below. It's next to the birthday coupon because my birthday is tomorrow for those courses linked down below. But make sure you click that link for Robinhood, sign up. You'll get 1 free stock within 24 hours, and you will get another 3 free stocks, so 4 free stocks total by Feb 1. All right, folks, thank you so very much. We will see you soon. Bye.